All right. Since I'm live, you guys can hear me. Please let me know when we'll get this started. Fashionably late, as always. But looking forward to today's slate. Looks like it's going to be stack to back part 2 from Daytona last week. So should be a fun one. Interesting slate. Definitely a ton of chalk. And we do have some decent pivots. Although, I'll be honest, this is one of the chalkier slates I can remember. But it should be a fun one. Obviously, no real qualifying or no practice this week. So we're kind of basing a lot of things from what we saw last year at the high tire wear tracks, intermediates in general. So some guesstimation today, but at least better than last year, as we had no data to work with in the next-gen car. But got my loud and clear from Andre. That's how you know we're good to go. He's always right on time with that. Got my loud and clear from Bull. All right, we're good to go. I see we already had a lot of people in the chat. We'll say hellos, and I'll just basically answer all you guys' questions, said everything I wanted to say in the preview, picks video, whatever you want to call it, on Saturday. So should be a fun slate here. You got my Ranchman Andy. Happy race day, folks. Don't forget to smash that like button on the way in to show your support, please. Yeah, it definitely goes a long way, and I do appreciate that. Let's see, man, Spread here. Welcome. Good morning. What's up, Spread? Nice to have you here. Got my man Gab here. Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, C. Mitch. Got my man Potato Grayson. Umbrella Cash Lock. Oh yeah, of course. Of course, we're locking Umbrella Cash. Who are your top 35 drivers today? Yeah, I'll get right on that. Although some people are like that. What's up, Obi? Happy fun day, fellas. Yeah, let's do it. Should be fun. Obviously, it's hard to beat the Daytona 500, but I'm looking forward to today's slate. Should be fun. What's up, Anthony? Okay, I got a good one. You always reference tournaments, cash, 3max, and single entry. Can you explain what you mean when you say a driver is good, for example, cash games? Okay, so for like example, cash games, a high-owned, safe driver, like for today, that's like a Chase Elliott. He's one of the safest drivers on the slate. He's going to be high-owned. You're going to play him in cash games. But in tournaments, you could pivot off of Chase. I'm not saying you have to, but you could pivot off of Chase Elliott for like a Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin kind of guy today, because they're going to be lower owned. They offer more risk because they're starting, halfway up the field compared to Chase Elliott. And there's just more downside, but there's also a lot of upside too if they can get up front, dominate, win the race. So that's kind of what I mean for the most part. In single entry, 3max, I mean, that's still tournament compared to cash games. Yeah, double ups, 50-50s, or head-to-heads, all going to be what cash games mean. That's a good question. I know people ask me that a lot. And he says, driver is good for cash games, and they have a very safe floor. Yep. Like today, if you're playing cash, I don't see any reason at all to play anyone like above 28th, really. I mean, you guys got Byron, Elliott, Reddick, Jones, Briscoe, Austin Dillon, Ryan Preece. I think I'm missing somebody in the... Oh, maybe not. But yeah, all those guys in the back, you're playing them in cash games. I don't see any reason at all to roster a guy up front in cash. I mean, I don't see the upside. We have a competition caution on lap 20. We don't really know who's going to be the fastest cars out there because we didn't have practice, so I just don't see a need. And yes, they're not going to get you those early laps led, but they can make up for that with the place differential points. Like, sure, a guy like Elliott or William Byron aren't going to get those 20, 30 dominator points at the beginning, but they can potentially get that in place differential points and then maybe get up front at some point anyway in stage 2, stage 3. So I don't really think it's a big deal. And we've had a lot of rain on the track. It's an abrasive surface. I mean, I don't know, just seems kind of scary trying to nail a dominator near the front today. Now, with that being said, you can take some shares of Bell and Logano if you think they can lead half the race and finish top 5, sure, but the chances of that happening are a lot less than the guys in the back just moving forward. Brian says, thoughts on Harvick? Not really in love with Harvick today. He was showing me negative leverage in the sims, and it's just his starting spot in 10th. It's just tough to get there, especially when he's priced by guys like Reddick, like Byron. Truex isn't too far up, and you have Austin Dillon below him. I just couldn't get too much Harvick today, and I have not yet built my lineups, so I don't know exactly where I'm going yet, but I know it'll be close to the sims, and I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to play Harvick. So if he kills me, whatever, I guess. Anthony says Reddick and Byron all day. Yeah, I mean, they're going to more than likely be the 2 highest owned drivers on the slate. That's what I at least have projected. I have Reddick to be the highest owned driver, but William Byron's not too far behind. I mean, just starting in the back, great drivers, great at these track types. I mean, 2 of the better drivers at high tire wear tracks, so I'm with you. This isn't like Daytona where all chalk is bad chalk, because everyone's got an equal chance of wrecking out. At these types of tracks, it's not like we're going to lose half the field. So that, it's definitely a better week to play chalk than it was last week. And, we saw last week, Jimmy Johnson was smashing, Kyle Busch was smashing, but guess what? They ended up wrecking at the end. So I mean, just the variance of Daytona and guys like Herbst, Travis Pastrana, Cody Ware end up crushing. Ricky says, can't decide between Almirola, Priest, or Allmendinger to finish my lineup. I would go Priest there. I mean, I think Priest and Almirola have very similar finishing upside, and Allmendinger starting way too far up front for me. So I'd go with Priest there. What's up, Roddy Dorito? Not doing much. Thanks for everything you do, brother. No problem at all. Smash the like, folks. Yeah, smash the like. Helps me out quite a bit. Also, if you guys want access to all the extra content, you know where to find it. Links down below in the description. If you want all the sims that I'm referencing here, links down below for that. And someone did mention that the Discord link expired, which I guess I'm an idiot. I forgot that does expire. So I've had that on there for a couple weeks. So if I can probably try to find the new invite link, and maybe I'll just drop it in chat for anyone that wants to join. Just the free Discord, but yeah, I can try to drop that in chat. Although I lost my chat pop out. Okay, there we go. And also, if someone could post a DK contest for me, like on their Twitter, and maybe I can like redirect people to it. I always forget to do that. Where we go? Ricky says, and Harvick starting 10th might not get you much point differential. I'd go with Reddick or Byron over him. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I totally agree with that. Like, I'm actually projecting Reddick and Byron to finish above Kevin Harvick. So, I mean, starting 20 spots further back, I should say, than Harvick just makes a lot of sense to go with them instead. Bull says, Chris, late as usual, hold the fort down until he arrives. You know, gotta be late. If you're on time, you're too early. At least in my world. Obi says, the 1 week don't roster Ricky Stenhouse, he wins. Unbelievable. I played Ricky in cash last week. I mean, that's if you're ever going to play Ricky, do it at Daytona in the back, in my opinion. But yeah, he saved my cash lineup because my cash lineup had, I think, 4 guys wreck out. Had Busch. Like in cash, I ran last week Kyle Busch, Stenhouse, Jimmy Johnson, Ty Dillon, which Ty Dillon wrecked immediately. Who were the other 2? Briscoe? Yeah, Briscoe wrecked too. And then I'm not sure I can remember the other one. Trying to think of everyone that's hurt in the third. I don't know. It was just everyone like almost 30 on bag. But yeah, I had 4 guys wreck, but Ricky saved the day. Not playing him today though, I'll tell you that. See, Miss Juliana is here. Nice to have you. Good morning, handsome. Good morning, beautiful. Happy race day, everyone. Julio, good morning. Anthony says, anyone else from Fort Myers who wants to get a viewing party going? I think we have quite a few in Fort Myers, so we got to get something together at some point. Got Andre here. What's up, Grace? Princess Jules, Warzone Legends. Yep, got a dub last night. Meat potato spread and Miss Jules. Let's do it, paper. We should do a surprise when CPEN finally gets here. Did anyone here from here win the million? Unfortunately not. We could not go back to back this year. So it is what it is. We'll have to do it next year if they host one. But it is unfortunate. See, Austin says this for all the cool unemployed hangout. It's Sunday. Give us a break. You can save the unemployed jokes for tomorrow. Yeah, last year Sean did. Yep. Just couldn't do it again this year, so it's unfortunate. Ryan says, hey, what's up, guys? What's up? No practice or qualifying. I wonder if Xfinity will roll over to tomorrow. No, they're doing, isn't Xfinity tonight at 8? Which I don't ever pay attention to Xfinity, but it sounds fun that we have another race after the Cup race today. So, full day of racing, really. Or evening, I should say. What's up, hockey? Seems like a great race to roster some Ware. Yeah, if you're in my contest, I hope you roster Ware today. I got Ware at, I know you're kidding, but just, I have Ware at, what do I have, negative 3.47 points. So, shout out to Cody Ware today. About time you show up, I know. You know how it is. God, Emperor Chris. What's up, Pope? Let's win the money. Let's do it. Sounds good. Let's go. Let's do it, Tim. Let's go to Obi. CPEN the go. Got my man Eric here. Hopefully you finally got rid of that dog they dropped off to you. I know you were having some problems. What's up, Ryan? What are the cash small field must plays for DK, Logano or Bell, and Reddick, Byron, Elliott? If I'm playing cash, I'm not touching Logano or Bell today, but I mean, if you're playing cash today, I think there's one lineup everyone's going to run. But the guys I'm starting with are Elliott, Byron, Reddick, and then Jones. So I guess that's 4. And he says you have a hair out of place. It's tough, Andy. It's tough. I guess it is a little. Got to fire the hair and makeup department. What's up, C. Mitch? What's up, Paul? Loud and clear. Amarella's popping in my GPP. So Amarella was actually popping in my Sims more than I thought. Like, I have him at around, where's he at? 16% optimal, which I thought was higher than I expected. But at his price point, it's not bad because, I mean, the guys he's competing against, you're looking at Ryan Priest is obviously showing up a lot more optimal than Almirola. But Dinger sucks as a play today. You have Gregson, Ty Gibbs, rookies. So that's iffy. Then you got Haley and McDowell down there that are popping up quite a bit. So Almirola's kind of in a weird range where I don't think he's a terrible play. But I'm only going to get there in like 20, 150 max type of contest. Daniel says cash lineup train in GPP. Could. I mean, it's going to be lower owned than it is in cash, I guess, if you look at it that way. But yeah, I think everyone's going to have, if not the same lineup, a 1v1 off of each other. I mean, I think the 5 guys are obvious, and then there's just the last guy that I think is going to be what people decided with. There's Haley, there's McDowell, and there's Ty Gibbs in the build that I'm talking about, and I'm sure you could probably figure it out from there. What's up, Robert? Good morning. Spread dropped the link to the contest if you want to join that. It's not spam, I promise. That's his Twitter account. You can hit the link there and join the contest. What's up, Brian? Good morning. Any optimizer settings we need to set? I don't have any today. I mean, I just use 30% randomness. That's about it. I don't really think you need groups or anything. Got a donut from a man, Clint. Before I open it, I'm assuming he's going to say something about Harvick. Just my guess. We'll see. Happy race day, everybody. Sadly, I'm not playing much Harvick today. I'm not either, Clint. I'm not either. How many DOMs per lineup for Minimax? Thanks, Chris. Hit that like button. Appreciate the dono, Clint. As always, love hearing from a man. But as far as DOMs today, I'm not really forcing any in. Like, I don't think you have to have Lagan. I don't think you have to have Bell. I mean, guys that are starting in the teens can certainly dominate this race. You got Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Larson. Kyle Busch isn't in the teens, but he's mid-pack. And all those guys can dominate today, and then you already have the place differential mixed in a little bit. So I don't really think you need to force DOMs, per se. Yeah, I mean, you're still rostering DOMs, but like we usually think of the DOMs like as the guy starting up front. Nick says, Eric Jones, will he finally pan out? I hope so. I had a dream last night. I'm not kidding. I had a dream he wrecked, though. It was very vivid. He had like a blue and purple car. I forget. You know what I'm talking about. Like that 43 car he used to run, that paint scheme, and he was wrecked. It was bad. So hopefully that doesn't actually happen. If it does, I apologize, but I dreamt it. Randy says, hello, you're the best. That's a way to enter, guys. That's a way to enter. I appreciate that, Randy. You always give good advice. Appreciate that, man. Thank you for stopping by. Eric says, Gillen, top 5 today? I'm willing to bet that's not the case, but well, I might sprinkle in some Gillen in tournaments, but not going to get top 5. Justice says, Briscoe or Dillon for tournaments or both? So I think Briscoe will be just a little bit higher owned than Dillon, so I guess I'd just go Dillon there. But it's really a coin flip. If you want to play both, sure, go for it. I mean, but just ownership-wise for tournaments, I would say Dillon, and they're projected very similar for me. What are your 2 DraftKings contests? Are they tournaments or cash games? Is there 2? I mean, they're tournaments for sure, not cash. Bull says, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you want more content, join the Discord, subscribe to the Patreon. Yeah, if you guys want to join in. Got a couple hundred people over there. It's always a good time on race day. And tons of content on the sheets, simulations, projections, optimize ownership, all that fun stuff. Find the link down below. Got a donut from a men's spread here. How much Blaney is too much Blaney? Code 12. Appreciate the dono spread. As far as too much Blaney today, it's just he's in a weird spot starting in 9th in the 10K range. Like everyone priced above him is a better play. I mean, you got Busch, Chase Elliott, Hamlin, Larson. I even like Chastain over Blaney today. He's popping up around like from 10 to 15% in that range in the Sims, which I think he's going to be owned around there. I don't think much ownership is going to go to Ryan Blaney today, so I'm probably not going above 15%. But I could see myself being under for sure. He's just in a weird spot today. Chastain single entry GPP. Well, I know, Gabe, you're going to just play Trackhouse either way. I don't think I'd go with Chastain single entry. It's just starting in 8th. I just feel like guys like Larson and Hamlin will go on by him, and then at that point you're like, well, shoot. Because if you're playing Chastain, you kind of need him to get up front because he's not going to offer as much place differential as some of these other guys, so I'm not going to personally doing it. Ryan says, I'm with you, Eric, on Gilly top 10 for sure. This isn't Daytona, guys. It's not Daytona. I don't pay for Discord. Well, it's just the thing in addition to it. You're paying for all the extra stuff. It's not really just the Discord. Robbie says, hey, Chris. I already answered that. What's GPP mean? It's going to be like large field tournaments or just tournaments in general. It's where you're trying to get to the top. Like if you're playing cash games, it does you no difference money-wise if you finish first or 200th, depending on the field. So you're just not really gunning for first. You're just trying to be half the field. But for tournaments, you're gunning for first, so you need to take more risk. Diana, oh, what's my mom? Sorry. Good morning. As usual, let's go with Logano. Happy race day, everyone. Good luck. Yes. Well, I'm going to be kind of low on Logano today, so I don't want to wish him too much luck, but thank you for stopping by, and thanks for the best of luck wish. Alan says, any team train lineups, or that doesn't matter? No, I don't really build off of teams ever. I mean, sometimes, yeah, in practice, if like Gibbs absolutely killed it, like, yeah, maybe we'll kind of stack Gibbs up, but today that's not really something I'm doing. John says, what do you look for in a 3 max entry tournament? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Like, you're talking about like the contest itself or the drivers? I mean, you're kind of building casual lineups, but at the same time, you're taking pivots. Oh, he says it's cold in Fontana too. Yeah, it is. It's just, you know, NASCAR's in town if it's like snowing and raining and cold in Southern California. Anthony says you killed it last week with Pastrami and Herb. Yeah, I mean, they were the top 2 leverage plays in the Sims, Pastrana and Riley Herbst last week, and they both ended up being optimal. Cody Ware was pretty high up there as well. And so was Ty Dillon. I got to mention that too. But I mean, what are you going to do? An engine at the beginning of the race. But yeah, they did pretty well. Let's see. Spreads. Oh. Who are my top DOMs? All right, so if we go to the Sims, top DOM percentage, I got Larson and Logano as the top 2 DOMs, and Christopher Bell's right there too. That's popping up as the highest DOMs today in the model. Robert says, aside from scrubs, who's your biggest fade and favorite play? So my biggest fade today, let me see. Again, I have not built my lineups yet, but the Sims hate guys like Buescher, Keselowski, Allmendinger, Stenhouse. But as far as a guy that has high ownership, it looks like, I'm trying to say he's getting nuked. It's honestly not too far off of everywhere. But I'm still deciding what I want to do with Chase Elliott, because I think he's going to be high owned, obviously. But at the same time, I want to fit in guys like Larson. I want to play Hamlin. I want to play some of these other guys starting, or not starting, but higher priced guys that have race winning potential. So I might just be a little bit lower on Elliott than the field. I'm playing him in cash games, and I'm going to play him in some 3-max. He's in my main lineups. But I might end up going a little bit underweight on Elliott just to get different. Because if I'm going to force in guys like Larson and Hamlin, I'm just not sure if I'm going to be able to afford Elliott as well. And I also like Kyle Busch. So. But I mean, favorite play today is going to be William Byron. Got a donut from a man Bull here. How much Jones is too much Jones today? So say you're playing 150 max, got him projected for around 45% ownership, give or take. I mean, I think he's a really good play. I'd probably play. I know optimal rate's not going to have him that high, but at the same time, Like if Jones does not wreck today, he's going to be optimal more than likely. This is a great track for him. It was super fast here last year. I mean, I could see myself getting up to 70-ish% and 150 max on Jones. Like, you got to take a stance. You want to be underweight on Jones or you want to be overweight? I'd probably rather be overweight. And then maybe be lower weight on, or underweight on guys like Elliott up top, just because their path to being optimal is a little bit harder because of the price point. But meanwhile, guys like Jones and Briscoe, they're so cheap, they just fit so easy. Convicted says Almirola cash, or by the way, thank you for the dono, Bull. Almirola cash or GPP play? Definitely GPP. I wouldn't play Almirola in cash today. Nick says FanDuel cash, Chase plus Truex. I think in FanDuel cash, I mean, I think the lineup's kind of easy. I've not set my lineups yet, but I know my optimal had 3K left on the table. So I personally, it's like Elliott, Jones, Byron and Reddick, and I forget the last guy, but I left some money on the table if you're playing cash over there on FanDuel. Appreciate your spread. Nick says Truex domination. I wouldn't mind it. I'm going to be overweight on Truex today. He's actually someone I'm looking at in tournaments quite a bit. He was second in green flag speed at the high tire wear tracks last season, and I like that price point. And he's actually a pretty decent pivot off of guys like Reddick or Byron in a similar price point. So, yeah, I like Truex quite a bit. What's up, Galvin? Good day, CP. Thanks for the live. Best of luck, everyone. Yeah, thank you guys. You guys make these lives possible. If no one was here to do them, I wouldn't do them. So appreciate you guys stopping in. See, we got almost 300 people here. Appreciate everyone being here. Close to 100 likes, I think, if YouTube isn't lying to me. So if you're just now getting here, if you leave a like on the stream, helps me out. What's up, Carmi? Good morning. Waking up after another bullcrap main event canceled on UFC. That runnier, the lineups I had. I'm assuming ruining the lineups I had. The fact you can't adjust your lineup when that stuff happens is asinine. Yeah, that sounds like it sucks. I don't play UFC, so I don't know how it works completely, but that sounds pretty brutal. Yeah. Ryan says, you got good info. Thanks for sharing. No problem. Thanks for being here. One question, since Kyle Busch doesn't do well without practice, do you think he's affected today? No, I mean, I think Kyle Busch is fine. I don't have any issues with Kyle Busch today. I mean, I'm going to be overweight on Kyle Busch. I am playing him in 3-max. I'm not playing him in cash, but I think Kyle Busch is a great play. We know this 8-car crushed it last year. I realize the drivers are different, but I mean, Kyle Busch, great at Auto Club. He's in good equipment, obviously, and starting mid-pack. I mean, I think he's a great pivot because I think he'll be lower owned than guys like Kyle Larson and obviously Chase Elliott. So he's a good pivot there. Do you like Kyle Busch today? Yeah, I know it'd be nice if he had practice, but it is what it is. LTFU says, any thoughts on who to take for a one-and-done league? What's the scoring for your one-and-done league? I don't know the exact premise, or I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but the details I need to get to who to pick. Like, is place differential matters, or just finishing position, or what? Robbie says, what's your thoughts on Ty Dillon this week? I don't mind him. The projections don't hate him. I mean, he's in a junker, obviously, in the 77. But he's starting dead last. I gave him a 29.85 projected finish. That equates to, what, 7? Where is he at? Or 20.32 DraftKings points. It's not bad. And being in the back. And if there's a lot of carnage and their tires end up being an issue again, I mean, if he can gain you 6 spots, it's not the worst because it fits in studs. I don't love it. Not really a 3-max or single entry kind of play, but once you start getting the 20 to 150, sprinkling them in is not a bad idea. Pope says, Chris, I'm getting Justin Haley popping a lot in my 20 max. What's your take on Haley? I do like Haley today, and I think I'm playing him in cash games as my last fit. Just starting in 29th. I believe he had an average finish, average running position around 20th place, maybe just inside the top 20 at the higher tire wear tracks last year. So definitely doesn't seem like a bad choice in my opinion for where he's starting and the price point. It's not like colleague sucks. Let's see. Obi says I had 4 drivers wrecked too. Yeah. Fortunately, I still was able to survive just because Ricky Stenhouse won the race. But other than that, yeah, definitely a lot of carnage last week. It took a while. The racing was really good. But finally got those wrecks at the end. Cameron says, are there any prize picks props that jump off the screen to you? I got a couple in last night. Let me see if any of the numbers changed. I know that some of the numbers moved on a few guys. So I took the under on Harvick at 37.5 last night. I think he needed to get, what, a top 8 for that to work out. I didn't really see it happening. And I don't really think he's going to get any dominator points. Maybe he gets a fast lap or two, but I thought the under on outside of a top 8, or I felt like him finishing under 37.5 points, which is basically, I think, outside the top 8, felt like a pretty good play to me. And I also took the under on Eric Jones, which I love Jones today, don't get me wrong, but they had him at 57.5, which he's still 57.5. I believe that was a top 12, if I remember correctly. I have him projected for around 48 points. So I got some decent leverage there. Let me find the heat map. So for Eric Jones to get 57.5 points, he would have to get a top 10. Now, add in a fast laps or here and there. I don't think he's going to lead laps or anything. That could bump it down to like a top 11, top 12. But I thought the under on Eric Jones finished at the top 10 was pretty decent, especially starting in the back of the pack. And I don't think he's going to be as fast as he was last year. Great play in DFS, but I felt like 57.5 was a bit steep. And I didn't take this personally, but if you think Christopher Bell can lead the first 20 laps of the race until the competition caution, Price Picks does have his lap lead prop at 18.5. I haven't projected over for that. I'm not taking it personally. I didn't feel too strong about it. But if you think you can just jump to a big lead for the first 20 laps, I mean, you'd hit your prop right there. So, and you can use promo code CPEN if you've never been over there to get an instant deposit match bonus. Okay, Sizzle says, let's get this money. Last man in, 6,300 or less in cash on DraftKings. Yeah, I think you got the lineup I'm talking about. I would go Justin Haley personally. That's what I got. And also last week of Price Picks, I hit one at the buzzer. I had the under on Kyle Busch, place differential, and the under on Kyle Larson. So I needed them to basically lose spots, and they were both hitting at the last lap, and then they crashed at the end. So got a little bit lucky there, but that's Daytona. No problem, hockey. I mean, I'm not in the free one as much, but I mean, if you ever have any question in there, I'll pop in for sure. Got a donor from my Heat. Free Oakley. Could you hear Oakley? He was barking pretty loud. Must have saw a dog you didn't like. But I do appreciate the donor. See, Austin says, Sean is single if any of you do. I gotta read stuff first before I start speaking it, I guess. Sean says, not considering price, 1v1, Truex or Hamlin for a single entry GPP. I have not Truex. I have Hamlin predicted higher. So I'd go Hamlin. And he says, how good is the Legacy Motor Club equipment? It's Petty GMS from last year, and they had some surprise races. Obviously, Ty Dillon kind of sucks, but Eric Jones, I mean, he won at Darlington. He honestly could have won this race last year at Auto Club. He had a super fast car. So it can be a little hit or miss, but I mean, it's decent enough. John says, Haley or Priest in cash? I would go Priest if you had the money for him. Ryan says, what's this one lineup everyone is running you speak of? I'm unaware. I mean, I could be wrong, but I was talking on Twitter with some people earlier in the week, and that was the one they were talking about too. It's my optimal, and I feel like most projection systems will probably have it as the optimal. It's just really easy to get to. I don't want to give it out here, but I'm sure you can kind of land on it pretty easy. It's got a few hundred on the table. What's up, James? Happy Sunday, man. Let's go racing. Let's do it. Would you roster Haley or McDowell in tournaments? I'd probably go Haley there. I mean, just taking the extra couple spots. I think ownership will be somewhat similar, but slightly into Haley there. Do you like Allmendinger? I don't. He's starting too far up for me. There's just really not much upside. Take Haley there. Charlie says, hello. The second week of learning to play NASCAR. It's a fun experience. It is. I mean, each track's going to be different. The strategy is going to be different every single week. So just buckle in and take it all in, and you'll be good. What's up, Jim? Thoughts on Harvick, Haley, Larson, McDowell, and Chastain? It's definitely a contrarian lineup. I don't think a lot of people are going to go with Harvick today. Chastain, maybe a little bit of Chastain. But, I mean, it's not a bad lineup, but kind of missing really all the place differential plays. So it's definitely for tournaments only. QC says, what's good, Chris? What's up, man? Good luck today. Phase on prize picks for today. I'm behind, so I answered that for you. There was a couple that I think. Let me see. I think I had the under on Briscoe as well, but that prop went down a few points from when it first came out. And also, if any of you play on underdog, they had some of the props I thought a little bit too low on drivers. Like they had Bowman, his finishing position at 13.5. I don't love Bowman for DFS today. I kind of talked about why he'd be a sneaky tournament play as far as being a potential dominator, but 13.5 seemed a bit low. Like I don't think he's a bad bet for a top 14. Got a dono from Tito. Appreciate that. Didn't say anything with it though. 50. Appreciate that, Tito. Let me scroll down here and see if you said anything and I missed it. Oh, didn't see it. Although Tito's been killing it in NBA, I think, past week. So shout out to you, Tito. I didn't see any message with it, so I apologize if you said something with it, but didn't go through. Bull says, lock Eric Jones in the 150 max I am. Oh, boy. Look, I'd love to lock a guy like Jones, but if he just has an issue and wrecks or just finishes like 28th, I mean, it would suck. I don't think I'd lock him. If you really want to lock him, maybe go like 80, 90%. Just you got to give yourself some outs, especially if if a tire explodes and he's 2 laps down. I mean, your day's done. But if you can stomach the risk, I mean, go for it, I guess. LTFU says, morning, brother. Any thoughts on who to take for my one and done league? Oh, yeah. Just let me know what the scoring is, and I'll be happy to help. Reddit Jeff says, should I go Truex or Byron in a FanDuel single entry tournament? I would go with Byron personally. Rick says, what's your number of drivers per starting lineup range today? So I only do that for Daytona. Or Talladega. That's really the only tracks I do that today. Don't really care. Don't really even have any groups, to be honest. So if you want to make like one group or like max of one scrub, you could do that. But I don't see the need for it. I like Eric Jones. Yeah, me too, Cantina. Me too. He's a good play. Parker says, do you have Bell or Logano projected higher? I have Logano slightly higher. They're right next to each other in projections. I got Logano at 39.5. I got Bell at 36.7. They're pretty close. I got them for similar dominator points too. I feel like Logano is maybe slightly safer because you get the 2 extra PD spots, but I mean, it's splitting hairs. No problem, JJ. Thank you for being here. Anthony says, I almost stopped watching because of Ty Dillon last week. What a disappointment. Yeah, it sucked. The beauty of Daytona is Ty Dillon still outscored a lot of drivers. I mean, as weird as that sounds, finishing dead last. He still outscored drivers last week because, some of the guys crashing up front that have a higher ownership. Like, he was a much better play than Chase Elliott, I'll tell you that. And Elliott was much higher owned than Ty Dillon on FanDuel, I believe. So it could have been worse. That's the beauty of the place differential plays in the back, though. Good morning, Timmy. What's up? Carmi says, how do you feel about Michael McDowell today in 34 car? I feel like he will be low ownership. I don't think he's going to be extremely low. I do think people side with Justin Haley a little bit more. But, yeah, I have no problem with McDowell. Him and Haley are very similar plays. What's up, James? Good luck today. Would you rather go Haley or McDowell? Is one popping more than the other? Very similar, although Haley has a slight lean to me. Very slight lean. Steve says, I like Chase as a fan, but I think he's a good fade today. Has not been one of his good tracks. Yeah, I mean, he was good here last year. Went up to the front a couple times and had a really good car. It's just, he's had some bad luck last season, and he wasn't that strong at the higher tire wear tracks last year. And we'll see. If I had to be underweight on any of the big place differential guys, it's just going to be Chase because of the reasons I mentioned earlier with, like, just getting to Larson instead or Hamlin or whatever it may be, Kyle Busch. But I still like him today. I mean, it's going to be one of my highest owned drivers, although I might just be slightly underweight just to get exposure to some of the other guys as well. Because I actually headed into the week planning on being underweight on Chase, and then, we get qualifying right now, and he's starting nearly dead last. So it's like, well, shoot, I can't really fade Chase Elliott anymore. He's going to be a great play in theory. He's my second highest projected driver, only behind William Byron. Appreciate you too, Robert. Thank you very much. What's up, CP? Says Rick. Jumped in here. What's top 2 or 3 on FanDuel? It's kind of the same on both sites today. Like on FanDuel, Elliott, because dominator points don't matter over on FanDuel really. So I mean, Elliott, Byron, Reddick are just gonna be the best plays over there. And you can easily fit those guys in together. Carmi says, Amarola, Hamlin, Larson, Truex, McDowell, Priest are my picks today. Not bad. Not bad. It's definitely a decent tournament lineup for sure. Because you're avoiding a lot of the chalk. A lot of the chalk. Bulls has still over 100 spots left in the YouTube contest. We had a little hiccup. Let's fill the one with 200 spots first. Yeah, we'll hopefully we can get that fixed. I know we had like a little issue with the contest last week, I believe. Mundo's World says, as I stack the back approach the weight today? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's not like we're at a 500 lap race in Martinsville where the guy up front can still easily outscore the guys in the back. Like, that's just not the case. That we have 200 laps. It's a big track. It's a abrasive surface. Lots of tire wear where we can see multiple dominators. We have competition caution at lap 20. It's been pouring the past couple of days. We even saw snow. So, yeah, this is a pretty good day to use the drivers in the back for sure. Hockey Freak Sean says, we're using all the salary today on DraftKings. I mean, yeah, it's not like a week last week where you're just using like the scrubs and there's $20,000 left. You're going to want to use the majority of your salary, but don't think you have to max it or anything. Mitchell Tyler says, yeah, the UFC fight was ridiculous. They won't let you late swap, but the fight was postponed after lock. They said, that's the risk I take. What? No, it isn't. Yeah, it definitely sucks. I mean, like I said, I don't play UFC. I played UFC once. I think might have been a McGregor card. But I know that it's happened a lot in UFC where fights get canceled. It seems like it happens every single week, which is weird. They tried late swap and everyone cried about it, and DraftKings kept screwing it up. Yeah, that's right. They had like 3 slates in a row or something where they just kept showing the ownership when they shouldn't have. Can't win either way. I mean, people want late swap. They don't want late swap. It's like, you know, seems like it was more broken when the late swap was on, though. Cameron says, Reddick, Priest, Jones is a core too chalky for FanDuel. I mean, it's chalky, but it's a pretty good core. I mean, I don't want to talk you off the good place just because they're high owned. It's not like last week. Like, if this was last week, being underweight on all these guys in the back would be an amazing idea. This week, it's not as simple as that just because it's not going to be like half the field wrecking out in 3 big ones, you know? So I'm fine with it. Like, there's been times in the past where like a guy like Jones is starting to last. I'll just lock him. If he doesn't wreck, he's going to be optimal. So, you know, the chances of him wrecking are probably not 50%. So, probably going to be overweight on that. I don't know why. My eyes look so tired today. Thoughts on Noah Gragson? Pretty similar play to Ty Gibbs in my opinion, but I just like Gibbs a little bit better. I mean, I know he's a rookie. He's going to be growing pains. It's going to be up and down, but when we can get a Gibbs car at that price point, I like it a lot in tournaments. I mean, he's got upside. I mean, last year, I think he was like 6,600 one race, and he was extremely chalky. I mean, I wouldn't be too scared of Ty Gibbs. You know, the talent's there, obviously. Garrett K says, thoughts on McDowell? I like him. He's kind of like Gibbs, McDowell, Haley. They're all in the same, kind of in the same boat, really. I put a winner bet on Byron, like him today. Yeah, I have like the betting model on the spreadsheet, the model, whatever it is. And we had Byron at plus 1,800 early in the week. That was showing the best value, so got a bet on him. And he's now down to plus 1,200, I think, on DraftKings. So we got some pretty good value on Byron. Let me see what he's at now. I think FanDuel has him at plus 1,000. So I was feeling pretty good about that one. Got some good line movement. Yeah, Byron's plus 1,200 on DraftKings still. Doesn't really show up as much value for me anymore. But as of right now, Hamlin at plus 900 and Logano at plus 1,200 were still showing some decent value for me, but everyone else is kind of capped off. Nick says, if you only make one roll with an optimizer, what would it be? I'm thinking 1 or 2 unique drivers or 10-20% randomness or a combo of both. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably use 30% randomness today. Probably the route I would go. But as far as groups are concerned, I don't really think you need to do that. Sorry, it just feels like I got a cough. I'll go Garrett. Jay Cohn says, are you from Ohio? Yes, I'm from Northeast Ohio. But I live in Southwest Florida now. But yes, born and raised. Oakley. Yeah, that was Oakley. John says, is Busher a good play? I don't think so. I don't have any Busher today. He's just starting too far close to the front. It's going to be really hard to get to him. Tim says, I like Priest and GPP, but think he might end up with higher ownership. What do you think? Yeah, I got him predicted for over 30% ownership today. Maybe it comes in lower, but I think Priest will definitely be chalky. But at the same time, he's not going to be as high owned as guys like Briscoe or Eric Jones. So if you don't play Priest, maybe avoid one of those guys, or both. Any love for Burton? Not too much. Again, he's like in that same boat as guys like McDowell, Haley, Ty Gibbs, kind of. But with less upside, I think. Eric says, who does Bubba crash out today? Hopefully not my drivers. We'll see. Hopefully just himself, because I don't really want to play Bubba too much today. I muted my mic for that. Hopefully that worked. Ty Gibbs Future Goat says, I had money in the 22, 8, and 20 in the 500, and poof, it's gone. Yeah, that's the 500. That's why I know you guys were asking me last week, and just like, who do you think's going to win? I'm like, I mean, I'm projecting Logano, projecting Blaney to finish in the top 2, but do I think that's going to happen? No. Although Logano was close. He was close. Finished what, P2? And, I mean, honestly, could have got there at the end, but caution. Zach says, new NASCAR DFS, who's the best play on the slate? I mean, I guess like Byron Reddick today. 2 best plays on the slate with the massive place differential. Got a donut from Eric. Appreciate that. Chris, can we get a Go Phillies? I'll say whatever you want if you're going to dono, so go Phillies, I guess. I like your offense. It's great. I'm going to be stacking it a lot this year. As much as I hate Eric's love for Phillies sports, the Phillies are fun. E. Travis Miller says, and again, appreciate the dono, even though you made me do something I don't want to do. Okay, DraftKings, Elliott, Larson, Harvick, Suarez, Priest, and Haley. It's definitely contrarian with Harvick and Suarez there, but I don't think it's terrible. Appreciate you, Hockey. I was just letting you know. I never try to force anyone to join. I'm just letting you know what I'm doing with the Discord and stuff. But I do always appreciate you being here, so thank you very much. Zach did pick an odd week. Don't think it's going to be like this going forward. You know, if for a lot of people that are new to NASCAR DFS, they're just going to think you stack the back going forward. So if we can have a regular race next weekend, maybe the back is over-owned and we can get on those dominators up top. Because this is not how it's usually going to be, guys. Unless we're at like Daytona, Talladega, the new Atlanta. But, you know, just how it is this week with the way forecast shook out. Devin says, first time trying a 20 max in NASCAR, hand built them. Hoping I get lucky. Hey, hopefully goes well for you. I mean, the first contest or tournament I ever won was the Chrome Horn, and I hand built that like in college. So it can work out. It can work out for sure. Alan says, Bowman and GPP to get different somewhere. I don't hate it. I'll tell you right now, the projections don't like him, and I knew they wouldn't. But he's had success at the higher tire wear tracks before, and obviously at Auto Club too, several years ago. It's just, again, I don't think he's going to be as strong as Logano or Bell. Probably fade back a little bit, but with the off chance he gets up front or maybe gets out first after the competition caution, I mean, cheap Dom. But, I mean, like I said, projections are not going to like him, but it just makes sense because of, you know, where he's starting and where he's projected to finish. Man. Sorry, I think my girlfriend got me sick. And yes, I'm going to blame you. I know you're watching. Let's see. Hockey says, I always hand build, but I don't play more than 10 lineups in NASCAR. Yeah, I mean, you can hand build 20. If you're playing 150, though, and you start hand building, it's when I think you're kind of nuts. I know a couple people that do that. I don't know how they keep track. But, you know, hand building a 20 max, it's still kind of tough, but it's not terrible. So it's actually kind of fun, too. Yeah, Chandler is the man, or Tito. That's what we call him. Appreciate the dono there. Tito is balling, sure is. Sure he is. I think he had a good week of DFS. So Anthony says, Byron, Reddick, Larson, Jones, McDowell. Am I close? For what? Tournaments, cash, close to what? I mean, it's not a bad lineup. But if you're asking if that's like the cash lineup I think everyone's using, I don't think that'll be it. Geb says that Byron dies. Geb dies. I'm right there with you. Byron better not die today. Better not die. I'm trying to decide what I want to do in 3-max. Like, do I just want to lock Byron in? Or do I want to, like, I might do, like, 2 of Reddick and Byron every single lineup and, you know, switch it out so I'm not 100% on any driver. We'll see, though. Steven says, I have 2 drivers starting in the teens, 1 mid-20s, and 3 in the 30s. Is that safe, or should I look for a swap for a potential dominator? No, that's fine. And, I mean, you can have, like, that's why I said, I hate the word dominator this week, just because we typically view them as guys starting up front. But I think a lot of the potential doms are place differential. Like, they can lead at some point. Just probably take to, like, stage 2 or stage 3, but they can get there for sure. Brett said, no message added, no message needed. Awesome, Tito. Yep, just dropped in and sent that. It says, Tito slinging that weed. Might be. Hopefully the feds aren't watching. Devin says, if you're going to fade any of the chalk today, who would you fade? It'd probably have to be Elliott. And I'm not saying Elliott's a bad play. It's just, if I want to get to more Busch or more Larson, either the Kyles or Hamlin, it's probably going to have to be Elliott that gets dropped off. You know, because I think the path to optimal for guys like Jones, Byron, Reddick, because they're cheaper, is a little bit easier, if that makes sense. That does reflect in the sims. I mean, Elliott is behind those guys, so. Scott says Tito's been getting Mox money. He has. Joe says, on this type of race, how's going to a mid-range type build? I mean, it's fine. Like, let me pull up something here. So if we're doing like a mid-range build, so I'm assuming we're avoiding all the 10K guys. So Reddick, Byron, Truex, that's 3 guys around 9K. You throw in Jones down there, throw in Briscoe at 75, and then we got like a Ryan Preece at 67. That's not, see, this leaves 800 on the table, but you can easily go mid-range this week. Like Reddick, Byron, Truex, Jones, Briscoe, Preece, and that even leaves about $1,000 on the table. It's not a bad looking lineup either. I kind of want to use it now. Got 350 people here. Do appreciate that. Over 100 likes. Awesome. Is this the lineup you're talking about, says John? Elliott, Byron, Reddick, Jones, Briscoe, Haley. I cannot confirm nor deny. You get the hint. Cut the check says, I'm thinking Austin Dillon is sneaky today. I don't think he'll be sneaky. I got him projected for, where's he at? I have him as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got him as the 7th highest owned driver today. That's around 30%. So I don't think he's going to be too low owned. Compared to the other place differential guys, yeah, he'll be lower owned, if that's what you mean. Laughing at your message, coach. Steven says, morning, Chris. Thoughts on Gibbs? I like him in tournaments today. I think he's a decent pivot off of guys like McDowell and Justin Haley that offer you more place differential upside. I mean, we're getting a Joe Gibbs car like for free. So, I mean, at some point, I think this price is going to go up. So, if you're going to take some stabs on Gibbs, wouldn't mind it. Oh, that's who I played in cashless. So I was thinking of the 6th driver, and it was Gibbs. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. I think we had like a lap down or 2 at the end, but he ended up, all the cautions, he got back up there. Mari Don Yeezy, I always love saying that name. Good morning, CP. Let's crush it today. Let's do it. Let's do it. How much is too much Byron? Again, it's your risk tolerance. If he doesn't crash, he's probably optimal today. So I mean, if you just want to, I don't want to say go all in, but if you want to be close to it, I mean, I get it. It's just like, what are the chances you think he wrecks, and then factor that in, I guess. But I mean, if you wanted to go 80% Byron today, I wouldn't fault you for it. Because if he does not wreck, I mean, he's going to be a top 10 contender, and that's a ton of place differential points. He's not even that expensive either. It's not like Byron's 10K this week. He's $8,900, and he had one of the best cars here last year. I just have visions of an early wreck of Byron, Elliott, Jones, and it just destroys them all. That would suck so bad. Unless you faded them, then you'd be have a ton of money because they're all like half field percent owned. Average Ant says, is Dominator's the way to go with this race, or just pick from dudes in the back? You can sprinkle Doms in, but for the most part, you're going to want the guys in the back. You're going to be getting killed at first. Like, don't look at the beginning, but after they start creeping up, that's when you'll start seeing more money. Albert says, I'm thinking this is a good week to just play cash games. Doesn't get much cashier than Truex, Reddick, Byron Jones, Briscoe, and Priest. You're close to my build. You're close. You probably want Elliott in cash, though, to be honest. Fading Elliott in cash today does not seem fun. Because if he's in the top 10, it's going to be a bad day for you. But, yeah, I mean, you're close to what I got. It's not a bad lineup either. I think that's actually the one I built when I was freehanding it. So he actually beat me to it. Yeah, no problem, Tito. Thank you for being here. And thank you for the dono. Appreciate that. It's very nice of you. Carmi says, thanks, bud. You're welcome. Brad says, what's the car manufacturer going to be for winning? I mean, I have Larson projected as the winner, so I guess Chevy. But, like, my top 3 projections, I got Larson, Hamlin, Logano, so that's different manufacturer each time, so good luck. But, I mean, Larson, I mean, is the favorite in Vegas. He's my highest projected guy as far as finishing. He's my highest win percentage, 12.5%. So, and when you guys ask me like who you think's gonna win, just know like my highest projected guy win percentage is 12.5%. It's not like there's a 50% chance that he wins. Like I got 12.5%. Vegas is implying what 13.5% or 13 1/3 or something like that. So keep that in mind when you make bets and stuff on renters. You know, like I'm only expecting this to work out like 12% of the time. But if you can find leverage, that's when you do it. Because when they do win, it's not like a minus 120 bet or anything. You know, some of these guys are plus 1,800, plus 1,200. So you can make up for some losses on the way, and then you know you hit a couple and you're even, or not even, you're making profit. I mean, NASCAR, you're going to have losing records if you're betting a lot, but I mean, it only takes just a few to get a positive. Jordan says all the Ty Gibbs love. I see. Yeah, I like your guy this week, Zan. I like him in tournaments. Lost my spot. Oh, Jim says my line is Elliott, Reddick, Byron, Jones, Priest, and Gibbs. It's not a bad lineup. Not a bad lineup at all. Good morning, EZ. Austin Dillon minus 135 over Briscoe. Larson minus 115 over Kyle Busch. Almirola minus 120 over Gregson. Like these for matchups. So I like the Almirola one. Larson and Busch I think are going to be close, although I would project Larson higher. But that is going to be close, I think. And then Dillon over Briscoe. Dillon was not bad at the higher tire wear tracks last year. Like I was looking at some of his numbers, they're actually surprisingly not bad. Now the running position was barely inside the top 20, but he still had 2 top 5s and 3 top 10s in the top 20 each and every single time. If you're looking at Briscoe, he had 2 top 20s with an average finish of 21.8, or 24.8 I should say, running position outside the top 20. I think he's going to be better than that today. But yeah, I think you're making some solid bets there. I think over the course of the long run, those would be winning bets. So, got a dono from Tito again. Put the Yankee shirt on. I'd have to leave and change my shirt, so I don't think I'm going to put the Yankee shirt on. But I did wear it that one stream for you. It was terrible. And I think it was my last stream of the year, and I ended up doing it with the Yankee shirt on, thanks to Tito, because he sent me it. Brutal. Jesse Nick says, Ryan Blaney versus Chastain finishing position. That's got to be close in the model. Let me check. I got Blaney at 9.14. I got Chastain at 9.41. So, goodness. I would say Blaney, I guess. But we're talking a difference of 0.3-ish, something like that. So, splitting hairs. Splitting hairs. Ryan says, since I'm old and can't find this magical lineup, it's killing me. It's nothing magical. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to cash. I'm just saying I think that's what everyone's going to go with today. But you might be Ryan. You might be right. Might be right. Satish says, is Bell a fade? So I got him optimal. So I gave Bell today. This is what I got for Bell. Starting on the pool, obviously. I got him for a 9.15 finish. 7.7% win percentage. I give him 26.5 laps led, 25 fast laps. Equates to just under 18 dominator points. I got him at optimal, still under 12%. So it's just tough for me to get to too much Bell outside of like 150 max because let's say he leads, like with all that being said, it's projected for around 36.7 points. Meanwhile, a guy like William Byron I got for 62.5 with leading. It's only getting like 6 dominator points. So that's just a tough path for Bell. So if you want to be underweight on him, I get it. I mean, yeah, he's going to look great at the beginning, but if he starts fading back or just doesn't lead after that competition caution, you might be in some trouble. Got a donut from man Rick here. Good morning, CP and the rest of the family. Go Byron plus 1,800. Yeah, you got in on that as well. Wishing you the best on that, Rick. I do appreciate the dono. Obviously, I'll see in the Discord today. But yeah, I'm rooting for Byron just because of that bet. Felt good about the number. I mean, win or lose, you can always be happy about getting positive line movement there. Best low-owned cash play? Not hunting low ownership in cash games. I'm not sure I'd phrase the question that way. I think like the lowest owned guy I guess I'd have in my cash lineup is like Haley, I guess. Haley, McDowell, Gibbs. Let's fill these C-Pen contests. Yeah, let's do it. I gotta start promoting it better. I keep forgetting. But yeah, if you want to join the contest, guys, I don't know how many spots are left, but people have been linking them in the chat. Try to fill those up. I just want to cough all over you guys. I don't want to get you guys sick. Ryan says Lorain, Ohio. It sounds familiar. I think Lorraine's in northern Ohio, correct? I don't think I was too far away from there. Let me know where Lorraine is. I think it's in northern Ohio. Mitchell says that's probably was a big weather change to Ohio to Florida. Yeah, definitely a big weather change for sure. I mean, I would take 80 and sunny or 90 and it's been like 90 the past few days here. 90 and sunny in February over 7 inches of snow and 10 degrees in Ohio any day. Yeah, I definitely love the Florida weather. That's the best part here. And no, don't go blue. McDonald's Sim Sports says, you have a top 3 for prize picks or underdog? For prize picks, I didn't mind the under on Harvick and Jones. Just the numbers seemed a bit high. Jones kind of worries me because I'm rooting for him for DFS purposes, but the under didn't look bad. I thought it was just a bit juiced up. And for underdog, let me see if they changed. I couldn't find a lot I liked on underdog, but let me check. So I think Kyle Busch was at 7.5. He's not down to 7. Okay, so I guess I got some decent value there. I took it works weird over on underdog because they have as higher or lower, and you would think a guy finishing higher than 12th place, you'd think like top 10, right? It's the opposite. So if they finish higher than 12.5, it's actually worse. Weird, right? Okay, so just keep that in mind. But I took the lower on Bowman at 13.5, so thinking he's going to finish top 14, pretty much. That's now down to 12.5 though. And then I took the lower on Truex at 11.5, so I need him to finish top 11 or top, yeah. And don't do what I did yesterday. They had some of the Xfinity props mixed in there, and I thought I was getting some really good numbers, and I actually took some Xfinity props, so don't make the same mistake I did. But those are the 2 I liked, and I also did a couple with the Byron on lower than 9.5. Those are the ones I found decent value in. G Billbit says, Bubba reckon like a token. Like a token. I'm not sure what like a token means. I'm trying to think, I don't know. But Bubba definitely made some improvements last year. I don't love him today. He's popping up 10.9% optimal for me. I feel like he's gonna be around 10% owned. Like not the worst play in the world, but not seeing much advantage to rostering him. What's up, Jay Smokes? Nice to see you. Another season. Let's get this money. Why is it hard to fade the PD chalk this weekend? Kind of want to get to the mid-range drivers, but I don't know. It's hard to get away from the chalk. Just because, you know, the outcomes are easier to project on a track like this compared to Daytona. If this was Daytona, I'd be like, yeah, let's go underweight on these guys. Let's play the Cody Wares and the Herps in the back just to get the low ownership. Can't really do that this week because, you know, we're not going to be in a big pack and it's not Daytona. So these guys, you know, assuming they don't wreck, they're probably going to be optimal unless they just have like pit issues, penalties, or something stupid happens. But you have to account for, you know. Obi says, Priest is an interesting pivot. Yeah, I mean, I like Priest. He's still going to be chalky today, but not as chalky as some of the other guys up top, I don't believe. Zan says, how is Briscoe, Bush, Byron, Gibbs, Jones, Reddick for cash? Okay, so let me make sure you got the locks. You have Jones, yes, Reddick, Byron, Briscoe. Oh. Yeah, I'd probably play Elliott over Bush and cash. I mean, he's just going to be higher owned, and he gets you, what, 10, 11, 12 extra place differential spots. Finishing position, you'd project it to be somewhat similar, so I'd just go with Elliott personally. And then Gibbs. Gibbs is fine. I think that last spot, you're either looking to Gibbs, Haley, or McDowell. I think Haley's the safest there. But I know you love Gibbs, so if you want to play him, I guess go for it. Any love for Keselowski today? Not really. I got Keselowski predicted to finish around 18th, which he's starting 16th, so it just doesn't make much sense for me to like too much Kes today. He could have finished better than 18th, but again, for where he's priced in that 7K range, you got Briscoe and Jones. It's going to be really hard for him to be optimal with them. Bryce says Harvick top 10 and Larson the W. I'll take the Larson W. I wouldn't mind that. Brad says pit stop talking to me. Very important. Who has the best pit crews? If you're looking at last year, I mean, Harvick, Chastain, Austin Dillon, I mean, they had some of the fastest overall times. Let me sort it here. Second. Fastest crews last year, I mean, Chastain, Kyle Busch, Austin Dillon, Harvick, Byron. Those are the top 5 as far as crew time is. Crew time was, I should say. But Travis Miller says, last week I had Logano, Bell, and Larson straight up to win. They 2-3-4 with 2 laps to go and Stenny won. I couldn't believe that. Sucks, man. That sucks. That's Daytona, though. That is Daytona, but still, that's brutal. Whoops. I forgot I blamed him for getting sick. Eric says he's sick too right now. I don't know what it is. Maybe we're infecting everyone in the Discord. Devin says, I just hand-built a core with a mixture of Larson, Hamlin, Truex, Reddick, Byron, and Jones, Briscoe, Priest, and I've been trying to mix in a lone guy into each lineup. We'll see. Weird week. It's not bad, Devin. I'll probably be doing something similar as well. I don't think that's a bad idea. Lost my spot. Cash the over on me saying I lost my spot in chat. I always do that. Ryan says, not much talk about Suarez, but your video the other day shows good average DraftKings points in history. Thoughts on Suarez with the magical 4-5. So, Suarez is just in a weird spot, especially for where he's priced. He's right beside Jones and Briscoe. He's right above guys like Ryan Preece. So, it's kind of hard to get to him. Yeah, I know he had a decent year last year at the higher tire wear tracks. We're talking 3 top 10s, 1 top 5. Average rank position of 13.7. It's just the problem is he's starting so high up, you know. And you can't, it's hard to project Suarez to finish inside the top 10. I think he's probably given to lose some spots. He might hang around there early, but you got to keep in mind there's going to be guys coming down to pass him. I mean, you got Busch roaring up the field. You got Hamlin, Truex, Elliott, Larson, all those guys I think would just get past. Eric says, do you like Larson, Logano to start? Just jumped on. I like Larson. Logano, Yeah, if you think he can lead a good chunk of the race and finish top 5, sure. But even then, there's just so much place differential. I'm having a hard time getting to the guys in the front. I mean, sure, mix them in, but I wouldn't go too heavy on them. Who would be the best DOMs for today? I think my highest DOM percentages were Larson, Logano, Bell. But again, is Logano and Bell going to lead enough to outscore some of these place differential plays? I have my doubts. Spread says all the sheets, exposure, sims, etc., etc. Chris's checking can be found on the Patreon. Yep. If you want access to all this stuff, it's right there. No personal bias, nothing like that. Just running some math things and numbers that spit out. Chris says, Chris, is your own percentage and sim sheet specific to DraftKings or fan? It's specific to DraftKings on there. Specific to DraftKings. Got almost 400 people in here. Awesome. Appreciate that. Sorry, just checking a couple things. Check and see if Bob posts anything important on Twitter. Not sure he's posted anything. All right, let's see. Even though it follows Cup race, now we're talking Xfinity. Nothing that important. Clint Boyer super bet, Cup road pit timings. Did say the radar continues to look good though. Humidity expect to drop off. Fewer clouds this afternoon. 20% chance of rain. Yeah, nothing too important here. Although if you guys do care, Cup race. So you got 12 sets of tires. Field windows 47, 53 laps. Yeah, whatever. Elliott or Larson in cash games. I would go with Elliott there. I love Larson today, but I mean, just give me the extra nearly 20 spots further back. Reddick or Chastain. Reddick for me. Assuming you mean DFS. ABC XYZ. I like that. Says, hey Chris, just getting in from church. Not sure if you covered this or not. Are you going to talk in the Xfinity since it's after Cup? So I don't watch Xfinity really. I mean, I can keep up with it because everyone in my chat likes to. So I know what's going on, but I don't care to play it, and I don't really want to cover it either, to be honest. No, I won't be. I just focus on Cup. But since it's after the Cup race, I might watch it, but I won't do any content for it. So also says there's normally a lot of wrecks at this track. I mean, it's not like it's going to be Daytona or anything. Last year we had the tire issues and lots of cautions, but I think we figured out some things. Hopefully we've learned from last year. It's a bit of a cleaner race. Place differential DOMs? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what you're hunting for today, really. Because a lot of these place differential guys can end up being DOMs. Ty Gibbs Future Goat says, how many laps does Bell need to lead to be a good play? The answer is not like... It can change. Because it depends on what the other guys do priced around them. Like, if Byron and Reddick happen to take each other out early on, Bell does not have to do as much. But if they crush, Bell is going to need to lead a large chunk of this race and practically win. So it's dependent. Like, it depends on what the other guys do around him. There's not like a set number. I have him at around 26 right now, which is the highest of all drivers. But it's just going to depend, really. Thoughts on Keselowski? Could he be sneaky? Just have 4 top 5s in the last 5 races at the Auto Club? See, that's why I don't really looking at track history anymore. Like, on the track history thing on my sheet, that is not specific Auto Club. That is track history at the Hightower tracks last year. I know you're not referencing that, but I'm just saying, for example, people that are looking at it in the video. But he was in different equipment. He was in the Penske car, which is a lot better than RFK. So, I mean, you just can't really look at track history specific. And obviously, that wasn't in the next-gen car either. Ryan says, talk ownership real quick, please. For the top 10 in ownership in order. I can't give that out. But I will say the 3 highest for sure are going to be, I mean, maybe not for sure, but at least I project. I'd be shocked if not. Reddick, Byron, and Eric Jones. Would you play or fade Bell this week? If I had to pick between the two, I'd fade Bell probably. Conscious Machine says, I'm late. It's all right. Had to go to the Berkshire Mountain Bakery before settling in. I'm not sure what that is, but it sounds good. Sounds good. I'm glad you got here. How are we over an hour already? It doesn't feel like it. Doesn't feel like it. General thoughts, says Andy, on playing cash lineups and tournaments with people trying to get cute with the lineups. I've done it before. I played the 121 a couple years ago and won it with the cash lineup. I split with a few people, but I still took it down. The ownership is overall going to be lower on those guys compared to cash. It's not the worst idea. I mean, I would probably try to get a lower owned guy or two, but if you really like your cash lineup, sure, just throw it in, I guess. Ty Gibbs says there's good plays in the front and back, which makes this week difficult for sure. Makes it interesting too. I mean, fun for tournaments. What settings are you using for exposure, randomness, and unique? I'm fine with just having it as one unique, but if you want to up that, sure. Randomness, I got it at 30%, and exposure, just that's personal opinion there. I won't tell you what your exposures need to be. Conscious says 138 likes. Come on, boys. Thumbs up for the DFS NASCAR GOAT. Appreciate that, Conscious. Thank you. And girls, of course. Yeah, if you're just not getting here, you can hop in the YouTube contest. Still got some spots open for that. Greg says, my G Black. CP, who is your favorite low-owned play for GPP? I'm not sure how low-owned he's going to be, but I really like Truex and Kyle Busch today as pivots. I mean, I don't think they're going to be completely forgotten about, like sub 10% or anything. But when you compare it to guys like Byron Reddick for Truex or Elliott Larson for Kyle Busch, I think he'll definitely be lower than those guys. So I like them as pivots today. I think Ty Gibbs as a pivot down low isn't bad either. I mean, we're getting a Joe Gibbs card practically free. I mean, the upside's there. What's the general lineup format advice? Sorry I'm late. No problem, Conscious. Don't feel bad. Basically place differential today. I know this isn't Daytona, but it feels like it the way we're building lineups. I mean, just heavy emphasis on place differential once again. Sorry, I'm itchy. Avery says, you think Priest can outscore Briscoe? Yeah, he can. It's possible for sure. I feel like they have pretty similar finishing position upside. Says Greg, mine is Ross. Yeah, Ross is another guy who's going to be pretty low today, but we knew he's pretty dominant at the intermediate tracks last year. I actually have him as the 4th highest dom percentage. So popping slight positive leverage there. See, Austin says, just heard on the news T-Mobile is missing a cash register. That's a Discord joke. Is it constrained enough to leave salary behind? How much salary are you talking about? Like, if I'm playing DraftKings today, I don't want to leave too much money on the table. On FanDuel, you can, though. Like, my favorite lineup on FanDuel leaves $3K on the table. Yeah, that was a good one from Coach. It sure was. Chastain can win, remember? Yeah, he can. He can. He's definitely going to be forgotten about today. I don't think he's going to be that high owned at all. No problem, CB. What's the wreck chances in this track? How you feel about Austin Dillon? You may have answered this, but just got off work. I know I had some comments on the video. I think you asked that. I wasn't able to get back to you yet. I was busy this morning, but wreck chances, I mean, I don't know the specific wreck chances. I mean, it's not nearly as high as a Daytona, intermediate tracks. I mean, yeah, we might lose a few drivers, but I wouldn't expect half the field to be gone. So it's not something I gotta really worry about too much. But with this being a track where no one's been on it this weekend, really, it's been raining, it's cold. Just, I don't know, could be in for a little bit of a surprise, maybe. Jeff says, how does practice being rained out affect anything? Well, it kind of sucks because we don't know exactly who's got fast cars. I mean, we can look at last year at similar tracks and based off of history and stuff and who we think is going to be fast. And at least this year we have a year of data from the next gen car. So it's another thing that kind of makes place difference easier to go with because they don't necessarily have to have the fastest cars to gain spots. I mean, up top, yeah, you need those guys to have the fastest car to lead laps. So it kind of puts us in the dark a little bit. Brian says, need a last driver for 7,100 in cash. Have Elliott, Reddick, Byron, Priest, and Jones. 7,100. Oh boy, it's a weird range. Either probably Haley, but I don't think I want to leave $1,000 on the table in cash. But I mean, to answer your question, it would be probably Haley. Devin says, who's the guy nobody's talking about that's going to smash today? I mean, it could be Chastain. I mean, that wasn't a bad idea by, oh, who said that? Ty Gibbs, Future Goat guy? It's not a terrible idea. I don't know how much people are talking about Truex much or not, but I like Truex quite a bit today too. What do I think about Gilliland? It's not pretty, but as a last piece fit, I think him or Ty Dillon are probably the best plays as far as scrubs are concerned. Dwayne says Denny Hamlin. Yeah, Denny's another guy. I don't think anyone's really asked me about Denny today, but I do like Denny. Suarez, the guy no one's talking about, gonna get it? It's possible. I mean, it's a really tough path, though, for where he's priced. Lemon says odds Ricky takes out everyone in the front. I wouldn't mind if he did, to be honest. If Ricky wants to take out the front and himself, by all means, go for it, please. Mari Don Yeezy says, Briscoe or Priest on DraftKings. I'll take Briscoe there. I think my mouth wanted to say Priest, but my head said Briscoe. Obi says, okay, got his one win for the season. Maybe for the next decade he got his win in. Elric says, hey Chris, what's up? Thanks for all your input. You think fitting drivers who are in both races today is a good idea? No, I wouldn't let that affect yourself. Like, trust me, the drivers that are in the Xfinity race are going to care more about the Cup race today. So we'll put all their effort in there. If they're going to slack, it'll be in the Xfinity series. How do I feel on Almirola? Not bad. He popped a little bit more than I thought. I don't have a strong lean on Almirola, but wasn't necessarily bad at these track types last year. I mean, you're talking 3 top 15s. Not terrible. Average finish at 12.3. Appreciate the plug spread. This is a Bubba free slander show. I'm not hating on Bubba. Not hating on him. I'm still kind of mad at him about the Clash. Played him as a Clash, low ownership. Best play in the slate. Easily. Then just gets nuked. Sucked. Briscoe or Priest? I'll take Briscoe. LTFU says big on Byron today, as am I. I like Byron a lot. Chris Austin will get mad for sending his favorite driver, but yes, he will. Yes, he will. It appears that Noah Gragson has a mullet. Does that make him a lock? Not quite. Not quite. But if you don't play him because of the mullet, I guess that won't stop you. Chris, would you fade Chastain? If you do, what driver would you replace with? I mean, it's hard to say fade him just because I think he's going to be low owned today. If I was forced to take Chastain out, I'd probably pivot to a guy like Kyle Busch or a Truex. Andy says, I've not heard Cindric mentioned once. You're right. No one has asked me about Cindric today. I think we fit almost every driver besides Cindric, to be honest. So, yeah, I don't think anyone's really going to play Cindric today. I mean, he was a top 20 machine at the high tower tracks, but again, you got to look at who he's priced right by, and it's Jones and Briscoe, you know? That's just a tough path. Because when I'm projecting Jones and Briscoe to finish ahead of Cindric, and they're starting 20 spots further back almost, it's like, not 20, but 10 to 15 spots. It's just tough. No problem, Alan. Hopefully it helps. Tito says, Blaney Pit Crew. I lost it. Blaney Pit Crew the worst. Think we could pick a random 6 people out of here and do fast. It seems like it, Tito. It does. I feel like every single time Blaney comes in for a pit stop, he's losing 6 spots. So Blaney spends all of his race getting towards the front, fast car, goes down pit road, loses 6 spots, has to make it back up, loses another 6 spots, just keeps doing it. I remember the one race last year, I forget which one it was, but I think he lost felt like 90 spots. I don't remember the exact number, but he lost so many spots in pit road. It sucked. Mad Dog says Byron Jones, Larson, Logano, McDowell, and Priest in tournaments. What do you think? It's not bad. I mean, yeah, sure, it's It's a bit chalky, but a guy like Logano will get you off the chalk a little bit, I think. Not bad. C. Davis says, everyone is excited as I am that Ricky is playoff bound this year. Yeah, that's a fun one. I think it's kind of a wasted spot, to be honest. But yeah, I guess it makes it fun, I guess. That's for sure. What's up, Travis? What's the weather looking like? Any chances of delays? 20% chance of rain, so I won't say it's a clear day, but it looks like we'll be good to go. Not good when I'm getting bags under my eyes at 12 p.m. Gonna be a long day. Mario Don Yeezy says, if you had to fade one, Byron, Elliott, Reddick, or Larson on DraftKings. Oh, if I had to pick one of those guys, I guess Larson. I guess. Ryan says, probably already covered. Are they racing today? Should be, hopefully. Bull says, we have 372 in here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's fill the YouTube contest. Yes, let's do all three of those things. Let's do all three. We're at 162 likes. 184 likes, never mind. If we could get over 200, that'd be nice. Randy says, Logano, Reddick, Almirola, Jones, a good core for 3 max. Almirola and Logano are a bit risky, but if you're taking a stance, sure. If you're going for the stance there. Good luck, Chris, in chat. No problem, Nate. Or, no problem. I don't think that was the correct answer there. Thank you. That's what I should have said. Ryan says, can anyone answer this? I got to get going, and Chris is always up in the comments. Spread, when's the competition, caution, and stages at what laps? Hopefully someone was able to answer that. What's up, Kane? Got the deuces. Justin says, yo, Chris, just hopping in. What's up, man? Anything changed since yesterday with anyone starting in the back? Not that I saw. Just keep an eye on Bob's Twitter for updates. Because he is the only, if without Bob, we would never know if anyone's going for the rear. We'd be ready to get the race watch, and we'd see our guy on the pole just drop to the rear. That would be it if we didn't have Bob. Mark says, Chris, do you have a link to your contest? I think someone posted it around here. Someone posted it. One of the wrenches. You can trust the wrenches. DePope says, Chris, I have 3 unique setup. Yeah, it's fine. That's fine. It's personal preference really on that. ABC says, Chris, not projections, but just who would you like to see top 5 or 10? Who would I like to see? I'd like to see my highest owned guys finish in the top 5. But, I mean, without even looking, just off the top of my head, this is what I think it would be. It'd be Larson, Hamlin. I think Logano would be up there. It wouldn't surprise me if we see Byron. And then after that, it's kind of a toss-up. I think Truex could make some noise there. He's pretty fast at the higher tire wear tracks. But we'll see. Reddick, too. Reddick, Busch. There's like 3 guys I could see being 5. Pope says, Chris, I have 3 min uniques for my 20 max. I'm like my lines like last week, and thank goodness then I also want my money back. Hopefully it's a 20K takedown day. Hopefully the Pope. I hope so. And yeah, Stenhouse was a bit of a savior. I wasn't as high on Stenhouse as I was the other place differential guys, but I did have him in a 3 max lineup in cash, so that, you know, it helped for sure. Says I got 195 likes, so we're super close to 200. Super close. Conscious says Larson or Byron, who scores more regardless of extra money? I have Byron currently by like 6 points, I think. Steve says, sorry, new to this. What do you mean when you say pivot? So if you're playing like on fantasy, like DraftKings, FanDuel, whatever it may be, when I say pivot, I mean like pivoting off of like a chalky high-owned driver. So Elliott can be really chalky today. And similar price, you have a guy like Larson or Hamlin who don't project as good of plays but lower ownership. And the upside is certainly still there. Like they have high ceilings, and you can pivot to those guys, getting away from some of the chalk, just to be different in your lineups. Differentiate yourself. Who do I think will win today? I mean, I got Larson as the winner. He's the favorite, so it's a boring answer, but that's who I got. 2,200 might be a bit much on DraftKings. They leave on the table. Ryan says FanDuel cash locks, basically the same guys as DraftKings, but Elliott, Reddick, Byron. Those are the guys you just plug it in, really. Obi says 3.2K left over, right? On DraftKings, no. I wouldn't leave that much on the table on DraftKings. FanDuel, I'm at like 3K. John says for cash games, it's better to... Whoops, lost my spot. It's better to play with large or smaller number of contests. Yes, if it's kind of opposite for me. When I'm playing tournaments, I look for like those smaller fields because you don't have to be as many people. But if I'm playing cash games, I want as many people as possible because I want more stupid people in my contest. You know what I mean? That makes sense. Because I don't have to beat, like, it's way easier in tournaments to beat 40 people than it is 5,000. But in cash games, I'm not trying to win. I'm just trying to beat 50% of you. So I want more people because there's more opportunities for dumb lineups. You know what I mean? And it lowers the ownership on the good plays. 400 people need 400 likes. That'll never happen. I wish it was that easy. But do appreciate everyone that is here. And we've got over 200 likes. That's awesome. Awesome. We have been live for... How long have we been live? Hour 25, I think. Goodness. It goes quick. No problem, Ryan. Thank you for being here. Justin says, favorite punt option for tournaments? Ty Gibbs. If he counts as a punt. How many Dylans to play today? Probably just one. I mean, you can play Ty, sure. Only if you're fitting in a couple absolute studs. But outside of that, probably just Austin I'd leave with. Okay, leave a lot of salary today. How much is a lot? Like, okay, I'm going to pull up my optimizer here. Like I said, I have not built yet. I find it better when I don't build early because then I just want to keep tweaking it. So I'd rather just build and be done with it and not make tweaks and be like, well, if I would have kept this at that or did that and this, you know what I mean? Let me pull up the, that was the NBA opto. Hold on, it's not the right one. So I'm just going to build a quick 150. Just going to put 30% randomness on. I got no exposure set. 150 the crunch. And we'll look at the statistics for the builds. Logano 9-1, decent value. 9-1, you can get him at 12-1 on DraftKings. I don't think I'd bet 9-1. 12-1's got a good value though. All right, so the 150 crunch. Let me look at the statistics here, just to answer you guys' questions. So, average salary used 49.6. Minimum salary used 48,000. So the minimum it left on the table was $2,000 to answer your guys' questions, and that's out of 150 lineups. All right, sorry. Dwayne says Kyle Busch, Briscoe, Byron, Haley, Jones, and Truex for GPP. Yeah, I like that a lot. I might steal that. It looks pretty good, to be honest. You playing in the 40K Gurney today? No, I like the June bug. I like that contest quite a bit. Also got a 150 on FanDuel, some 3 maxes over there, a single entry, whatever it was, I forget. I got to build all those though. Give you one guy to throw on DraftKings. Byron, one guy today, Byron, I guess. No problem at all, Marie. Appreciate you too. Thank you for being here. Brandon says, better take that nap. We got some dubs tonight. Oh gosh. Warzone is going to be tiring after the race, the Xfinity race. It's going to be brutal. I was falling asleep playing last night. Who's the FanDuel core? It's basically the same as DraftKings. I mean, Elliott, Byron, Reddick, those kind of guys. Got my man Dave in there. Put all the info out for you guys. If anyone's curious. Don't forget, we do have a competition caution lap 20. And he says, I don't know who's going to cry more, the weepers on the track or me looking at my laps after the race. It's funny. I like it. Yeah, going to have some weepers today, that's for sure. So much water on the track. Underneath the track, I guess. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning from Mississippi. Steve says, hey, Chris. Grew up in Fort Myers many years ago before you were born. Help me out. What do you mean by pivot? I'm new to this. That's awesome. You're from Fort Myers. Are you still here? But hopefully I answered your question a little bit ago. I'm behind on the chat, so I apologize. No problem, Obi. Justin says, what is Bob's Twitter? Watching delayed Sorry Tired from the Pasta last night. That place is fire, though, right? Are you talking about... you must follow me on IG, I guess, or Discord. Yeah, I posted what I was eating last night. It was good. It's really good. Pear pasta and Marietta, something like that. Chicken. I don't know what it was. It's pretty good though. Bob's Twitter though, to answer your question. Got me thinking about food. I think it's just like at Bob Pawgrass or something. Spelled exactly how it sounds. I think Kyle Busch could win this race. Yeah, it's possible. Wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I got him projected pretty high today. I have Busch projected only behind Larson, Reddick, Elliott, and Byron today. So yeah, I like him. No problem, Aaron. Better late than never, right? Peter says kind of like Joey, a little bit better than Joey. Bell and Poole. Say Bell leads the first 20 laps. I think that's Joey's time to run away with the race and get off Bell. Or what's your thoughts on that? I mean, if I had to pick between the two, I am picking Joey. Just because you get the extra 2 spots. I feel like the Dominator upside is pretty similar. And I mean, if Joey can get a better pit stop, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's kind of tough. That's why I'm just really kind of sticking with some of the place differential plays that could also dominate. Like Kyle Busch, Hamlin, Larson, they have more room for error. Logano and Bell have to be perfect up there. I mean, Busch, he can gain 20 spots and then lead some laps. Larson can gain 14 spots and lead some laps. You know, it's a safer floor. Because, no, they're not going to lead the laps early on, but they can make up for that at the spots they gain. And if Bell and Logano start losing spots, I mean, it's just going to be a really tough path for them. Geb says 2 honey. You know it. You know it. Andrew says, who you like better as a pivot, Brad K or Cindric? I think I got Brad. Maybe a little better. Finbar says, can you talk about Ty Dillon for DraftKings GPP exposure concerns? Yeah, I'm not super happy about rostering Ty Dillon this week. He pops up a little bit in Sims just because he starts dead last and you got to factor in variance. But, I mean, his car sucks. I wouldn't expect too much. I think he can finish around 30th. But, I mean, if you got other guys to wreck, he could contend for a top 25. It's not something I would expect. But, yeah, I've got concerns. I've got my concerns for sure. I probably wouldn't go above 10 to 15% in 150 max. Now, I would not play him in cash and go into your 3 max. Gibbs or Haley on DraftKings? I prefer Haley in cash. Maybe Gibbs in tournaments, I guess. I like Haley easy, but Gibbs might be a good sneaky play, which should be less owned. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what I said. So I'm right there with you, Aaron. The NASCAR official 2023. Hi, I subscribe. Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Green Tongue Man says, I've got 6,800 left. Best play. Assuming you don't have Priest, I would say Priest. Michael says, Briscoe, Byron, Jones, Larson, McDowell, Reddick for GPP. Yeah, I mean, it's a really chalky lineup, but I like it. Gibbs or Priest for GPP? I'd still go with Priest. I like Priest a lot. Can't see him being high owned. No, I think Priest will be high owned today. I hope he's not. I hope I'm wrong, but I think he'll be around 30% owned today. He's a good driver. Justin says, DiVietto. I was there last night also, but the one in Doral on... Oh, is this Jay? Is it Jay? Might be wrong. I only know you as Jay on Instagram, not Justin, so... Yeah, I mean, I love DiVietto. It's so good. So good. Gotta go there more often. But it's awesome. We were both there last night. Steve says, not in Fort Myers anymore, but wishing I was. I'm sure the weather's great here. Also, shout out to Ray Bingham. Signing up on the Patreon. Just saw the notification. Got Bob Haley over there. Awesome. Appreciate you guys. If I missed someone, I apologize. Nice Kevin says, Ty, where's my engine? Don't remind me, please. So stupid. And honestly, everything went pretty well last week besides Ty Dillon losing an engine. It still doesn't kill you, but man, I feel like could have had some really, really good lineups if Ty Dillon wouldn't have just died immediately for no reason. How did Connor Daly outlast Ty Dillon equipment-wise on that race? It just blows my mind. Alan says, Austin Dillon or Briscoe, GP last driver. I think Briscoe will be a little bit higher owned, so I guess I'd go with Austin Dillon just for the ownership. Jacob says, Chris, what is your favorite prize picks and underdog plays today? So Underdog, the lines moved a little bit. I took the lower on Bowman at 13.5. I took the lower on Truex at 11.5. And then Byron 9.5. I think I took that. And then on Prize Picks, I took the under on Haley and Jones's fantasy points. Tito says, Opto broke again. I need your help here. And oh gosh. Tito loves breaking the Opto. Glad to see everyone here. Make sure you leave a like on the video. Yeah, helps me out. I'm struggling, but we're about to make it. I almost caught up to the chat. Takes a while, though. Aaron says, I'm shocked. I figured with all the value, people would shy away from Priest. Yeah, I mean, I really don't think so. I think people like Priest. I mean, I have him projected ownership-wise lower than Reddick, Byron Jones, Elliott, Briscoe. But I think Priest will be up there with guys like Austin Dillon just because of the price point. It's pretty easy to get to. And my Sims like him a lot as well. Look, I hope he's low owned. I love that, but I don't think that that'll be the case. But I hope it'd be nice because I got him optimal around 35% of the time. So yeah, good play. I got it finishing around 18, something like that. So good play. It's usually just him, Rick. Usually is. Mad Dog says Gibbs, Haley, and McDowell in tournaments. I'd probably rank that as how you have it. Gibbs, Haley, and McDowell for GBP. Bull says let's go get live chat fired up now in the Discord. Yeah, we'll be live in the Discord probably until lock. Ty owes me money. What did Ty do? No problem, Jacob. We know that's why he did the $50 donut, you know. Aaron says had to make a few lines fading Larson, Elliott, and Bush just in case. Yeah, I mean, it's NASCAR. Anything can happen, so don't blame you. Burton, I like him less than guys like McDowell, Haley, and Gibbs in that price range, so I'm not going to get to a ton of Burton. I have him optimal around 7% of the time, so not a lot. Yeah, I like those two as well. I mean, I think I have some decent expectations for Priest today, or this year. I meant to say, and today as well. Who's my favorite place for a DraftKings single entry? I mean, Byron, Reddick, Jones. Hard to get away from those guys. Who's my favorite low-owned driver? So low-owned compared to like Elliott and them, like Kyle Busch, Hamlin, those kind of guys, Truex, just to get a little bit different. SNR says McDowell seems safer than Haley, even starting 3 back. I don't know. I think they're similar. Very similar. I'm just taking the extra couple PD spots. If you want to play McDowell over Haley, I got no problem with it. Jules is heading to the pool. I'm jealous. I can't go to the pool. I got to build lineups, unfortunately. I'm jealous. But you enjoy. It's your day off. Mad Dog says, how do we feel about Harvick today as a dominator? Very unlikely. His dominator score for me was 0.6% as top dom. To be the top dominator, so very unlikely. Thoughts on Almirola? Not a bad tournament play. I mean, just to kind of get off some of the chalk down there. I don't mind it. Wasn't bad at these track types last year. Kind of donut from Choke Hold'em here. Dominator group. And who are the dominators again? What about starting position groups? Are we waiting on any more news? Thanks, Chris. No problem, Choke 'em. And to be honest, I don't have any dominator groups today, or really groups in general. It's only something I would do. Well, I have dominator groups almost every single week, but at a track like this, with the way starting positions are, I don't have it any, just because there's so much place differential, and a lot of these guys that can lead laps are starting mid-pack or even in the back. So I don't really think you need a dominator group. Now, if I was forced to make a dominator group, I'd probably make it Bell, Logano, Bowman, Blaney, Chastain, Hamlin, Larson, Bush, I guess. But I don't think you really need one. Any thoughts on Suarez? If he wasn't starting so far up, I'd like him more, but to be honest, he's kind of just maxed out. Like, Suarez having a great race and be finishing 7th today, and that's where he's starting, so. But appreciate don't choke on him. Forgot to say that. Ryan says, snowing here, pull out. Ooh, snowing. That's rough. Definitely wouldn't want to be cold today. Looking outside, I want to go outside, but I got stuff to do. Aaron says, Jamie, I was going to ask the same question. I want to see his thoughts on Almirola as well. It could be a nice sneaky play. So Almirola was popping more than I thought. Like, I think optimal-wise, it was around 15%, I think. And I don't think Almirola is going to be more than really like 12% today. So, or I got him at 13%, but 16% optimal, which does show some positive leverage. Any thoughts on Gregson? I think he could surprise at some point. I don't hate Gregson. The problem is he's like right by Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs has a little bit more PD upside. I like his equipment a little bit better, so I side with Ty Gibbs. But for Gregson, I don't mind putting a couple shares on him, but that's about it. I'm trying to catch up to the chat, but you guys keep firing away. Almendinger wins it today? I hope not. I hope not. Then from man Phil here. Hey, I'm in Fort Myers, born and raised. Awesome, Phil. We'll be at the track shortly for the race today. Thanks for all the info. A lot of fun running DFS in person, I'm sure. Hey, enjoy the race today, and it's awesome you're from Fort Myers. There's a lot more people from Fort Myers here than I've ever expected, so that's pretty cool. But appreciate the dono and enjoy. And if we have a guy up front that we don't need, please throw like a banana peel on the track for me, or just get us a debris caution. I'd appreciate that. Thoughts on Harvick? I don't like where he's starting today. Just kind of a tough spot. Kind of got a feeling on Truex, no bias here. I like Truex today too. I know you love him in general, but I do think Truex is a pretty solid play today. Hamlin and Larson together in a single tree, a bad place, and so many PD opportunities. Yeah, I'm not sure if I love them together. I'd pick one probably. Probably pick one. Would you fade Chastain today? Not actively. I mean, whatever the optimizer gives me. I'm okay with a couple of Chastain lineups if you want. I mean, he's not going to be that owned, and we know we can get up front and dominate, and the ownership's not going to be very high. Jacob says, Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Larson, Elliott, how do you feel about under on underdog? They're kind of too high for me. Like, I have Larson as my winner today, but I have that at like a 7-ish projection finish. So they kind of have that juiced up, so I didn't like the value that we got on that one. But if you really think Larson wins today, sure, take the under. But the other ones are just kind of iffy for me. Missed early part of the stream, 1 Dom, 5 PD, good makeup, or more Dom shares. As far as Dom, do you just mean like Logano or Bell or Bowman or something like that? I don't really think you have to roster a upfront Dom per se today. Because, I mean, Larson could be the biggest dominator today, and he's starting 15th. Hamlin starting 13th. So I don't think you really have to just force like a early Dom in your lineup for like the first 60 laps or whatever. Because we do have the competition caution, which could mix that up as well. Like, let's say Bell leads 20, then Logano leads 20, and someone else leads 20. I mean, you're just kind of mixing it up. I'm not sure that's going to be enough dominator points to make up for the guys that are pulling through the front here. Delray Beach. Where's Delray Beach? I just moved to Florida, so I don't know the whole geography as well. It sounds familiar. It's on the east side of Florida. Okay, that's what I thought. South of West Palm. Okay. We're like right across from each other. If you're wanting a ghost caution, you Jimmy Johnson, he knows how. Thoughts on McDowell? Just find cheap play in the back. I mean, nothing. Don't have a strong stance on McDowell. I'm not anti-McDowell. If you want to play him, sure. I guess he had some decent numbers at the higher tire tracks last year. Is Austin Dillon fast today? Don't have any practice to really know for sure. Although at the higher tire tracks, he hasn't necessarily been very bad. So I don't hate Austin Dillon at all today. I'll certainly have exposure. Crap, forgot to ask about salary. Do we leave as much salary as last week? No, not nearly as much salary as last week. Not nearly. Lowest I had in 150 builds was like $2,000. Yeah, I mean, phrasing it as fading Chastain is kind of odd because he's not going to be high owned. Usually phrase it as like a high owned driver. Like fading Chastain is just like he's already going to be pretty low owned, so. Fading Chase have anything to do. It's not terrible because you can pivot the guys like Kyle Busch, Carl Larson, Denny Hamlin, who have obviously very high upside as well today. Oh boy. Thank you, Jacob. I try to answer every question here. I'm getting tired, but I'm trying. Sorry. Del Boca Vista, do you know Jack? I do not. I did not. Any chalk you don't eat? The chalk's all pretty good today, to be honest. If I'm going to be lowest on anyone, it's going to be Elliott, but I'm still playing a large chunk of him. The real question is, Ty Dillon faster? No, I don't think so. Hope not. Who's your favorite of the guys starting in the back? How are you handling Chase? Byron's my favorite, then Reddick, then Chase probably. And then Jones, Briscoe, probably in that order. Saw the fantasy points on Prize Picks. Any tips to look for value or to know about the over-under? I have it on my spreadsheet, like the best leverage. Under on Jones and Harvick are popping for me. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah, coming for the race either spread should be fun. Tito says everyone keeps sending texts. Can't let Chris go. I'm tired. We're on 2 hours. 2 hours. Forecast looks pretty solid today, Clay. Definitely a lot better than it has been the past couple of days. I got here late because of a police exam. Oh, well, hopefully that went well for you. Hopefully. No need to. Definitely more important than this live stream, I'll tell you that. I went with Joey, Byron, Reddick, Truex, Gibbs, and Priest in tournaments. Is that what everyone else is rocking? It's similar. It's similar. Tito says, I think it's bad to try and play around 60% Larson. Always the favorite to win this race, but I can see it also. I don't think it's bad. If you're trying to take a stance on Larson, yeah, 60% is a good way to do it. Probably the nicest guy out there. Absolute legend. Union Orford or Matt. I never had how to pronounce his name, so apologies to Matt. Matt Gajewski, maybe, are the best. Appreciate that, though, Chokehold. Thank you very much. You know, kindness can go a long way, so I try to be as nice as possible on here. No problem, Pugsley. Thank you for the dono, Ryan. Don't see any comments with it. But I do thank you very much for it. Great day to turn left is what you're telling me? Yes, please no right turns today. Please no right turns. I think I caught up to the chat. So unless we have any other... Gajeski. Okay, thank you, Ryan. I've never gotten to talk to him because I don't do any of the similar content, so... But now I know. All right, guys, I'm probably going to get out of here. I wish you all the best of luck today. I got 241 likes on the stream, so it's awesome. Appreciate you all being here. Wish you all the best of luck. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can. Instagram. I only post what I eat there and stuff, so not that important. But yeah, hit me up with any questions on Twitter. I can drop the Discord link in here. It's just the free version, but if you ever want to hop in and ask me a question, you can do that. No problem at all, Jim. Florida's full, Eric. Yeah, Florida is full. Traffic has been awful. Takes me 20 minutes to go 0.2 miles every day. Go Guardians, yes. That is right. I think I got something Indians up there somewhere. Yep, see ya. See ya, Clint. Thank you. Yeah. Ready for the baseball content here soon? Yeah. Baseball's starting up. Might do some best balls on Underdog. Sorry. But if anyone ever wants to do best balls, obviously I partner with Underdog now, so I'm going to be doing some of those NFL and I think I'm going to try to get some baseball ones in. Yeah, if someone could drop the link to the YouTube contest for Ryan, I'd appreciate that. I'm going to get out of here. I'm beat up. Gonna eat some lunch, gonna build some lineups. Wish you all the best of luck, and go William Byron, I guess.